green juice with apple, and hemp seeds with pollen.
Welcome everyone, this is Matt Monarch with the Raw Food World TV show, and today is Saturday, January 3rd, and I have some very special guests today on the TV show. My first guest is Brendan. And Brendan, I believe that you're a 100% raw food eater, is that right?
That's correct.
How long have you been doing it for?
Since 2001.
2001?
Yeah, actually September 9th, so a couple days before September 11th. That's what helps me remember.
Wow. And you're living in New York?
Yeah, I'm in Brooklyn, Crown Heights.
And you happen to just be in...
Visiting my family here in Southern California. I live in Tustin.
And is this your family over here?
This is my mom, Patty.
Hi, Patty. Are you proud of your son?
I am. My mom really got us into health when we were younger, but she died before he got into raw food. So he went way beyond what my mom was trying to do with whole wheat.
Did you think he's crazy for doing something like that?
Well, I'm not really doing it, but I don't know that he's crazy. His other brother was doing it with him for a while, but quit after about 4 months.
Yeah, he did it for a year.
Or a year.
As an experiment.
2 of my other kids are vegans, and we only have one other that will kind of eat everything.
Cool.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, I was just hanging out here at my dad's house and doing yoga, and all of a sudden my dad goes, "You know what? There's some people that are coming over now who've seen you on TV, and through my newsletters and stuff like that. And I'm not even really sure how this came about. Do you guys want to maybe talk about it on the camera? So I'm kind of curious, and I think maybe they might want to.
Yeah, go ahead and tell your portion of the story.
Okay. What's your name first?
My name is Donna, and I just live across the street from your dad.
Oh.
And I saw this handsome man exercising in the middle of December with practically no clothes on. So I was like inspired to find out who that was, that someone would feel that good to be able to go out in the cold.
Doing push-ups?
Yes, and exercise. And so then I'm nosy, and I called around to the neighbors, found out who you were. This is so silly.
Who did you call?
I called Sue next door, your in-laws.
Oh, okay.
His aunt.
My
His
aunt.
aunt.
My
His
dad.
other aunt.
Yeah.
His other aunt.
This is so embarrassing.
No,
I mean,
his aunt. Yeah.
That's okay. And she said, she told me who you were, and then.
And I happened to call Donna, and she says, "Oh, well, I'm looking out front, and there's this guy, and his name is," well, she didn't know your first name at the time. She knew it was Monarch. And then she said, all she had to say was, "You're into raw food." And I said, "Oh my gosh, Brendan's here visiting us. He'd love to meet him." So she called and found out more about you and said we could come over.
So that's how it happened. And all I want to know is, since you guys have been doing the raw food, do you feel like 100% better, different? Is it hard to do this?
No, it's not hard to do it. It's harder to not eat the things that you want to eat. It's not hard to eat raw foods because they're delicious. But it's not so much of a challenge for me anymore. Pretty much everything else is just off the menu as far as that goes. And I got into it because I had some persistent nagging health problems. I had allergies and asthma. I also had sort of like a sharp back pain that the doctors couldn't really figure out what it was. Found out a little bit later I was sensitive to soy and wheat. So I have a friend. His name's Justin, but his dad is a chiropractor. His name's Thomas Hugo. And he was doing raw foods for about a year or so. And he had all of the literature and all of the books, and I just dove in, started reading them, and since doctors weren't able to help me with my problems, I decided to take it into my own hands, and things really started to happen within like 6 months, and I kept it going. So.
Now, did you go through any detoxification symptoms when you went 100% raw?
Yeah, definitely. There was lots of sickness in the beginning, on and off. I did a lot of fasting the first year, basically. I don't even know how much. Arnold Arrow was really inspirational, his books, and so I fasted a lot. Probably, I have it all written down on a calendar somewhere.
Did you water fast for more than 6 days ever?
I think that's about my limit.
That's good.
Yeah, about 6 days.
Norman Walker says if you water fast for over 6 days without any nourishment, it can result in long-term issues down the line, neurological. Juice fasting is a different story though. So yeah, that's great. And that's funny because Arnold Ehret was like, he was one of the people I looked up to. And it was funny, most people in their first year of doing raw, they get like really extreme with it, and they read Arnold Ehret, and it's like I actually talked about this in my newsletter, Arnold Ehret's books. It's like the source of just like what's going on here in certain aspects and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And how long you been raw again? How many years?
Since 2001, so I pretty much stopped counting. I mean, I'm looking forward to my decade.
7 years.
10 years, but yeah, I'm on my way.
But you do yoga too and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's part of like a lifestyle. Of course, like raw foods isn't going to do everything for you, but it's going to do a lot, and so that's kind of like the foundation, and then I build everything else around it.
Sure.
And you're into the gardening stuff.
Yeah, it really changed my life quite a bit. It's probably one of the like defining moments of my life. I think it got me a lot more into the environment. I didn't really care too much about it prior to that. I mean, it was just whatever, and so it makes you take a look at like how food's grown, and I went back to school for horticulture and then for ecological agriculture, and I'm working right now with some people to try to purchase land and start farming. So it changed my whole way of living. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's It's interesting because I see Brendan. He places orders on my site all the time, and his name was Brendan. Can I say your last name? Is
Yeah.
Brendan Bear, and I see all the orders, and I recognize his name. I thought it was quite funny. What we do every day is I generally put out an action of the day. What do you think the action of the day should be for today for all of our viewers?
oh wow, fast.
Fast.
Yeah, that should be the action of the day.
I like it. Let's see if you can fast. We're not saying you have to do anything extreme. Maybe you could just skip breakfast.
There you go.
Or do something like that, and then maybe you can post your comments below on what you're gonna plan on doing due to this inspirational little interview here. So I'm very excited to hang out with Brendan for a little bit, and my name is Matt Monarch, and we've got
Brendan Bear.
Patty Bear.
Donna.
Sue Monarch.
The dad.
and we'll see you tomorrow at the Raw Food World TV show.
That's good for me. These are a few